Hello guys, today I'm going to show you my top 10 Casio watches on a budget. I know that not everybody wants to spend very much money on a watch, including me. Sometimes you just wanna buy something that is nice, reliable, and that's exactly what a Casio is good for. So therefore I have here a list of my top 10 picks. So starting with this one, the W59. This was released in 1982, which makes it older than the Casio F91W that you probably all know. The Casio F91 was released in 1989, so this is the oldest Casio model that is still in production today. The length of it is 37mm with a width of 33.6mm, thickness of 8.7 millimeters, and it weighs about 22 grams. It also has 50 meters of water resistance. It's made from resin, as most Casio digitals. Also features a very shit backlight. It's not an illuminator. It has slightly larger buttons than the F91, and it has rounder edges, which gives it a sportier look, and in my opinion it looks much more retro. Now I have it on a NATO strap, but the original straps look like this. I think they're very cool and unique. This watch has a estimated battery life of 7 years. Very nice. Yeah, this is my number one pick for budget Casio. The next watch that I would recommend buying if you want something that's a little bit more classy and looks like a regular dressy watch that is not a digital watch, then I would recommend the Casio MTP1302. This one, you may be familiar with it because of its Tiffany dial. It was extremely popular and took the internet by storm, and they were reselling for almost as much as a Rolex. Maybe not as much, but about as much. The clout was insane on these watches, and I actually have one, but I have loaned it to a friend, so I cannot show you. I have the navy blue dial version. It has a very nice sunburst, and you might think that it's made from stainless steel, but it's actually not. It's made from coated brass. Plated brass. So it's basically brass, which is a lot softer material than steel, that is coated with chrome, so that it gets a very shiny look, but it's not very hard and it's prone to scratching. It comes with a mineral crystal that's also prone to scratching, but it costs about $70 or so, more or less. So I guess you can't expect more. This watch is inspired by the Rolex Datejust. As you can see, it has this oyster shape and a folded link bracelet in the oyster style. Very pretty watch for such little money, and I think it's also a strap monster. I'm going to look up some dimensions for you. The case length is 44.2 millimeters and the width is 38.5 millimeters with a thickness of 9.2 millimeters. It weighs 105 grams. Yeah, and it has an approximate battery life of around 3 years. It uses the SR626SW battery, very popular battery. It's actually this one right here. This is the same battery. You can find these on pretty much any store. The SR626. Very nice watch. I recommend this if you're just getting started. It was actually my first watch that actually got me into watches. The first watch that I bought myself was this elegant, nice watch. This watch I have recently bought. This is my third pick on the list because it's a classic little bigger brother to the F9491W. I have a video where I review this watch and go over the specs and functions of it. This is truly a classic retro watch. You can't really go wrong with it. As you can see, it's the illuminator, which means it actually has a working backlight that is not absolutely shit. Otherwise it's almost exactly identical to the F91, other than no hidden end links here and little design changes, which I think are only positive. Well, the dimensions on this watch is the length is 39mm with a width of 35.4mm and with a depth of 9.6mm. Yes, this weighs in at 21 grams, which means it sits flush on the wrist and you won't notice it during the whole day, which is sometimes really quite nice. This features the 1572 movement, which gives a battery life of approximately 7 years. Yeah, solid third pick. I would recommend buy this watch. Now the fourth watch that I would recommend is the Casio Databank, the CA53W1. The reason I recommend this watch is because for high schoolers, middle schoolers, teenagers, this watch is perfect for school because it's literally a calculator on your wrist. I don't own this watch, but I know a few people that do own this watch, and it's dirt cheap at around 30 bucks. This is a perfect pick, I think, because it's cool, it's retro, it's functional. The only bad thing I would say is that it does not have a backlight. But it is water resistant with a 5-year battery life. This is the first model I would choose this just because it's so retro. The length is 43.2mm with a width of 34.4mm and a depth or a thickness of 8.2mm, made out of resin, weighing in at 25 grams. Yeah, really not much to complain about. Really nice watch, cool watch, retro watch. Buy it if you go to school and you are in need of a calculator. Now once again onto more watch that is not digital. We have the Casio Duro, extremely popular watch. You probably already heard of it. This version that I'm reviewing is the MDV 107 1A1VEF. It does have some pretty good lume. The battery usually lasts for about 3 years. So it's a quartz watch, of course. Measurements for this watch. The height of it is 49.5mm. The width of it is 44.2mm. And the thickness of it is 12.1mm. And it weighs in at about 92 kilos without the bracelet. And with the bracelet it comes in at 144 grams. Really nice watch. I would recommend buying this. It has a date window. It looks like a diary. It looks like a Seiko almost. I know there's also another version. I think it's a little bit bigger with a some kind of fish at the bottom. But this watch I really like. Boom! Now we have the 7th watch right here, which is the A168 classic digital retro steel watch. It has a LED light. That's very nice. It has a weight of 49 grams and the height is 38.6mm, the width is 36.3mm and the thickness is 9.6mm. Buy it if you like the digital watches and you're planning on wearing one long term, then you just want it to be your everyday watch, then buy this watch because it's just an upgraded version of an F91. Not really, but yeah, you get what I mean. And now it's time for the big Casio F91W, the larger version, the better version, the robust version. Perfect perfect watch. I have never had a digital watch that sits this good on my wrist because it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit thicker, won't slide under any tight sleeves, but it's an illuminator. This shines, as you may see, a lot brighter than the other shit backlights of Casio watches. As you can see, and it shines for about 2 seconds when you press the button. Such a nice watch right here. You get almost a G-Shock look for nothing of the price. You can have world time on it, I'm pretty sure. I'm not really sure how to do that though. And one battery lasts for 10 years. 10 years without changing the goddamn battery once. That's lazy, but it's good if you get stranded out in sea. Anyways, the height of this watch, I'm going to double check it. The height of this watch is about 44.2 millimeters. The width of this watch is 36.8 millimeter and a thickness of 13.4 millimeters, and it weighs 37 grams. You can do what the you want to this watch. Nothing will break probably if you don't run over it with the car. It also comes in an all black version. That's very cool and very Batman. Buy this watch right now, you won't be disappointed. I didn't even like it until I actually bought it. Holy shit, I really like it now because it's my beater every day and also my classy wear. So buy it. And now we can't forget the Casio F94W. I bet you thought I was going to say the F91W, but actually no, because that watch, of course, it's probably many people's number one pick for a budget Casio digital watch, but it's not my pick because this watch is basically a copy that I think is more retro, more unique, and yeah, looks nicer, I would probably say, because it's more intricate design and it costs a little bit more, but not that much. Otherwise it's about the same watch. It weighs 21 grams and the case size, the length is 38.2 millimeters, the width is 33.2 millimeters and the thickness is 8.5 millimeters. With a resin band, battery life of 7 years. I have a review about this watch and how to use it as well, how to set the time on my channel. Perfect watch, nice. Everything is just nice about it. Almost the same as this watch, but a little bit different. With the classic F91W design. Buy it, it's dirt cheap. The Casio Royale, the AE1200, such an iconic watch. This watch is just too good. It has, you can have 5 daily alarms, and of course it's a world time, it's a GMT. So yeah, it weighs 50 grams. I'm looking at the steel version. It has a height of 45 millimeters, a width of 42 millimeters, and a thickness of 12.5 millimeters. This watch comes in with steel bracelet, and it comes with a resin bracelet in all black, and then it weighs 32 grams. Wow, this watch, it just looks so James Bond. I would definitely buy it if I had the money. It costs about $70, or the steel version around $80. Buy it. Last but not least, the Casio F91W. Buy this watch. Cheapest watch on the internet probably, that has a reputable name behind it. just buy it, because you need to have a Casio F91W. What are you doing if you don't have a Casio F91?